Hey guys, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies. Doing a rapid fire, so let's hit it. Set in the future, Hugh Jackman has a machine that peeks into people's memories. He meets Rebecca Ferguson. They get romantic. She disappears having stolen stuff from Jackman, and he tries to find her. I think it's better than most will give credit for, but it's certainly not without its problems. Chief among them, the setting. Its world building is subpar, alluding to a war we never see, and Miami is sinking into the ocean for reasons that aren't memorable. There's moments of bad direction and writing, though thankfully not consistently so, and the film's penchant for playing with time jumps will induce headaches. But the most maddening issue is just how predictable it is. As soon as certain plot beats happen, you'll be able to easily figure out how it'll be resolved. The performances are amazing, Thandawee Newton stealing the show on occasion. There are some jaw-dropping visuals and truly thought-provoking ideas that are both beautiful and haunting, which keep this elevated. It's just a shame that the story itself isn't worthy of the better aspects. If you're a fan of the cast, then I can recommend it, but keep your expectations low. My honest rating for Reminiscence, a strong 3 out of 5.
And I've turned a blind eye to plenty.
Well, the difference is I know what I'm going to find at the bottom of a bottle, and it's not answers.
We were happy. We were planning.
Jason Momoa is seeking revenge for the death of his wife at the indirect hands of a pharmaceutical company. Now he's on the run with his daughter, Dora the Explorer, to avoid hitmen and the cops. No, not very good. Wanted to like it more than I did, especially after certain reveals. Normally, I'm all for the everyman going after the corrupt corporations, and the pitch of Jason Momoa doing it is pretty solid reason to check this out. However, while I like him and his relationship with his daughter, it's hampered by a few things. The boring action sequences, the unnecessary rivalry between Ray and the main assassin, and that scene. If you see it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. The third act does pick up the slack, but I would have preferred if said third act was the entire movie. Not as interesting or as exciting as it should be, not without its good moments, but not enough for me to recommend it. My honest rating for Sweet Girl, a weak 3 out of 5.
Wasn't it supposed to be like this?
Snake Eyes is given an opportunity to avenge his murdered father by a Yakuza leader. He wants him to kill Storm Shadow, but instead saves him. He's then invited to be part of his clan. Cobra gets involved, Scarlet from the G.I. Joes gets involved, action scenes, and giant snakes. I think I prefer the first Joe movie. Ridiculous nonsense as it was at least shameless about it. What you have here is an excuse to have an American-made action movie with a ton of Asian actors. Nothing wrong with that, but there's no reason to call this a G.I. Joe movie. One Joe is in this, same as there's only one Cobra in this. And wouldn't you know it, they team up in the third act to fight Yakuza thugs. But fine, in a vacuum, it's whatever. While Henry Golding is charming enough to carry the film is very light. Lots of twists that don't exactly surprise you, the action scenes aren't that enjoyable, the story is mostly dull, and the world building needed to set up the universe of the G.I. Joes is non-existent. Only Samara Weaving held my attention. If you want mindless action, I guess it's good enough for that, but if you were expecting more, it's going to go in one ear and out the other. If you pass on it, you're not going to lose any sleep. Not recommended. My honest rating for Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins, a weak 3 out of 5.
Hit me. With your sword.
Don Cheadle and Benicio del Toro are teamed up with this dude to harass David Harbour for his boss's super special documents. Those documents are missing. Don Cheadle kills this dude for trying to kill David Harbour's family, and they try to salvage the situation to their advantage. Yo, movie! Are you about gangsters getting a lot of money, or a history lesson about car companies being jerks? I'm barely kidding about that. The end of the movie shows a text about cars, pollution, and car companies being shady. Despite the joke, it's not the true focus of the flick, but rather the super special documents. And that's fine, I guess. The story certainly loves to throw curveball after curveball to the point where you sort of stop caring about what the endgame is and who's really behind it all. Some are legit good, some revelations work better than others, but with so many, it's easy to get detached. And hey, Brendan Fraser, how you doing? I don't care for Scorsese, but I love you, bro. It's trying way too hard to be one of those old school gangster movies and falls pretty short. Good performances out of the cast, fun style, but not as good as it wants to be. Viewer beware. My honest rating for No Sudden Move, a 3 out of 5.
I'm gonna punch you now, sir.
The fuck works?
I'm punching you. This is going to be a punch.
I can't give it to you. This is proprietary information.
I'm sorry.
Better Call Saul is a former assassin turned boring family man, and he knows it. One robbery and a missing kitty cat bracelet later, he goes on a rampage hurting and killing people who deserve it. He catches the attention of the wrong Russian mafia boss and now has to protect his family. How did it take me this long to watch this? I mean, it's no John Wick, but that doesn't make it any less respectable or entertaining. I would never have thought Bob Odenkirk would be such a badass in terms of duking it out, but boy does he make a splash. Hutch is brutal and makes every punch, broken bottle, and slammed skull into a hard object feel gratifying. The action scenes are violent, stylish, well choreographed, occasionally hilarious thanks to the amazing Christopher Lloyd. The old coots still got it, y'all! The dialogue is solid with a few exceptions of forced exposition, and frankly, the story does take its sweet time in truly taking off, about 40 minutes in. Thankfully, the padding is quite comfortable. If you're a fan of the John Wick movies, then I think you're in for a treat. It's a wild ride, and I highly recommend it. My honest rating for Nobody, a strong 4 out of 5.
Give me the goddamn kitty cat bracelet, motherfucker!
VIVO is a kinkajou living in Cuba, making music with his elderly friend. His friend gets a letter to perform with a super famous singer he used to be in love with and wants to sing a song that he wrote for her. He dies before he gets to. VIVO takes it upon himself to take the song to her with the help of an eccentric little girl. Went in with zero expectations, came out of it thinking that it was both better and worse than I thought it would be. I was not a fan of the character Gabby. She's strong and independent, but comes across as a loner who doesn't even try to get along with other kids. There's also some obvious padding to the story that felt forced and unnecessary. I didn't always like the music, but the songs toward the end of the second act and the climactic song were legit heartfelt. I won't pretend that this didn't have its emotional moments. It's about fulfilling the last wish of a dearly departed friend, and it's handled better than one might give this credit for, which effectively elevates it in my eyes. It has its moments of heartstring tugging and some decent laughs, but coupled with some cringe music and plot points, it's a bit of a hit and miss. Recommended, but temper your expectations. My honest rating for VIVO, a strong 3 out of 5.
Best friends forever!
Hey, let go. Pause to yourself.
Hold still.
Forever's a long time, kid. I have a song to deliver.
Based on true events circa 2013, Joe Bell is walking from Oregon to New York to spread awareness of bullying and gay victimization after the tragic suicide of his son Jaden. For the life of me, I don't understand why this movie is getting so much hate. Criticism, yes, but the overwhelming negative reviews just doesn't make any sense to me. My only issue is that sometimes Wahlberg can't get out of his own shoes. He just played himself, if that makes sense. Make no mistake, he's really good for what the role calls for. I just wish he played it with more compassion rather than tough guy. And I don't appreciate that Jaden's death was treated like a twist. Filmmakers, please stop doing that. This was a real kid. Please don't treat their lives cinematically. With that said, I do enjoy that this is a movie about a straight white man coming to terms with his own son's death. His inner struggles with how he failed, it's definitely one of Wahlberg's best roles. It's not without its flaws, and they are kind of disrespectful. But where it counts, I think it's a heart-wrenching movie with fantastic performances. I recommend it. My honest rating for Joe Bell, a 4 out of 5.
Don't hide yourself from regret, just love yourself and you're set. I'm on the right track, baby, I was born this way.
All right.
We're not doing that again.
Two stories. A 1960s Shailene Woodley is married to a rich dude she doesn't love and has an affair with Callum Turner. In the present day, Felicity Jones finds letters from the 60s lovebirds and attempts to unravel what happened to their relationship. Oh boy, this is as old-fashioned as they come in the modern day. But is that really a bad thing? It's about the cheesiest movie I've seen in a long time. The way it's written, the way the actors say their lines, give it a black and white color scheme, and it would almost make too much sense. It's a melodrama worthy of a Hallmark movie. The characters are dumb, the plot points are obvious if not predictable, the 60s portion feels like a wannabe 60s romantic drama, and the present day feels like a 90s rom-com. For many, it's going to be an Olympic level of groaning. And yet, there's something oddly legitimate as the actors are trying to act their hearts out and give weight to the hokey writing. In an odd sort of way, it's admirable, despite how it doesn't work. I'm sure this will have an audience, but it's a date movie to pop in and forget the next day. I don't particularly care for it, but I've seen worse. My honest rating for The Last Letter from Your Lover, a 3 out of 5.
Dearest Jay, please know that I was not rejecting you. I have never wanted to kiss someone so badly. But when you looked up at me, something changed, and in that moment...
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there. Hope to see you soon. One final caveat as you guys move on with your day, I've decided to test my luck at a Patreon, so please consider supporting the channel. No obligations, of course, no content is gated off, but any and all support would mean a lot. Links in the description. Have a great one, folks.